$14 million, as you can see on the slide there. Also, the elimination of a prior year for a number of other grants, and then some other items as well, like you know, our bridges tend to go over fiscal years, so those monies move from year to year as well. Full-time positions review. We've added 7 new positions in the last 5 years. 5 of those 7 are all within our water resources division. As you remember, last year we added 2. We've kind of shifted a lot of those weak commission funds towards water resources, and that's allowed us to add to our water resources team. It went from a team of 1 of John to he's been able to add a couple of he added an outreach coordinator, 2 water resources specialists, the water resources planner, and most recently the water resources engineer. So that's the overview of those. Our capital expense budget, just over $10.5 million, split between road, bridges, equipment, and sewer and water. And so for the breakdown of those improvements, where that money comes from, 6.5 is secondary roads, 1 a general fund transfer to the sanitary sewer fund for that annual improvement to unincorporated Polk County for sewer improvements, farm to market, STP, federal aid bridge money, enterprise funds, and some money from other governments for a shared project. So, and this is information is based on our CIP that's filed with the DOT as well. Includes grant funds that have already been awarded. Breakdown of that in the pie chart, you can see here, 62% of that is secondary roads, and then those other items are broken down there in the pie chart. So into the bridges for 26-27, we have 3 bridge projects, $2.3 million. The bridges there are listed at the bottom of the screen, so it's we have the BR numbers, and the engineers reference those numbers, and I have to put addresses or locations to them so that I know where they're at. Try to do that to be helpful as well. But the breakdown there, the other government money is a shared structure over 29th Street south of Norwoodville with the city of Des Moines, and then some money from farm to market, federal aid bridges, and then through other through county sources. Our road CIP is includes $4 million for hot mix asphalt resurfacing, approximately 10 miles of that, and then 141 and 121st Street intersection improvements, a joint project with the Iowa DOT, and then a small amount annually for right-of-way acquisition. 26-27 vehicle and equipment CIP is replacement of 3 heavy-duty plow trucks. That's ongoing. We have 12 in the fleet, and so it'll be an ongoing for 4 years. It was in the budget last year. We ended up shifting those funds due to some equipment that needed to be replaced that was costing us a lot of money in repairs. So we replaced our mower tractors last year.
So you take the other 3 out of service?
Yes, these are full replacements. We'll trade or sell, auction off the ones when they go out.
When they sell them, what happens to the funds for that? Does it come back to a general fund? Does it go into something that you have for
I believe it's
securing?
from where the funds are secured from, so I think if they're secondary road funds, they'd go back into secondary road funds. 26-27 water and sewer CIP. So this is the standing appropriation for sewer improvements of $1 million, and that'll be done in Saylor Township. And our project for 26-27 would be Northwest 50th Place between 6th Drive and Northwest 2nd. And then the 1.3 from the sewer enterprise funds includes $1 million for Norwoodville, and then $300,000 for call them emergency extensions, or where we need to. Somebody has a system fail and we have a sewer close by, it doesn't make sense to do a small project in order to get them connected. The Norwoodville project will be start at 4 Mile Creek and come up Aurora. So we're kind of starting in the southeast corner. We're finishing up the northeast corner of Norwoodville, and that'll kick off the leg that will connect the rest of Nordville to the sewer over the next many number of years.
Brett, how long will the project take at Norwoodville? Is it a 10-year?
It's probably a 15-year, so we're
15,
about 5 years
okay.
in. I think it's about a 20-year estimate from the beginning. And if we can generate more revenue through the urban renewal district, then we'll increase the amount of projects that we do and do it sooner.
Okay.
But, yeah, I mean, it's been a great project. We did a number of streets last year and connected a lot of people to that, and so it's helping the drainage problems, and it's getting people on sewer and not having to deal with their septics in
Right.
that neighborhood.
And when we connect the sewer lines, are we connecting to the WRA trunk sewers?
Correct. Yep.
And so they have been upsized to the point of being able to handle the capacity for our extension and growth in our area?
Yes, so the areas that we're connecting were anticipated when we were setting the capacity standards, both at the local level and the regional level with the WRA. So next up, recent accomplishments, showing you some photos here of some of our housing programs in process. So the first one is emergency home repair. We did 290 projects last year, and so we assisted 290 people, and the picture there is a old furnace being replaced with a new furnace. We do a lot of furnace replacements through that program. The one at the bottom middle is our aging in place, the HUD grant that was received. We've got 10 projects completed, and a lot of those are making the homes. This is a walk-in shower from a home that only had a tub before. Weatherization assistance program, we do a lot of insulating with that, and here's an attic where left side is the original attic and right side is with blown-in cellulose, and also some reinforcements to the roof structure to make sure that it stays in place. Other recent accomplishments, water resources related here, Corteva Wetlands Project in Johnston, an after photo here looks great. Also a number of stream restoration projects. Here's one in the city of Altoona on their Greenway Park segment. Also water resources related, our outreach coordinator, Cassie, she does a number of events. One here is a rain barrel workshop at the city of Grimes at the Grimes Library. Also a part of Walnut Fest. We have a trailer and the displays to go around and to teach people about the rain campaign and the stormwater and water quality improvement things that they can do on their own properties. To the right is our new air quality monitoring site at East High School. That was a future opportunity last year. We'd received funding, and that's now up and operational near the East High School site. Road and bridge projects. Here's a Northeast 70th Avenue culvert replacement. It was a 80-year-old wood structure that was needed to be replaced. We did that with county staff, as you can see in the photo. The photo above is the original structure, and replaced it with culverts below. Right side is Devotee Bridge, just south of Thomas Mitchell Park on Devotee Drive. A 70-year-old structure that was narrow and had weight restrictions was replaced this fall, and the bottom is the in-process photos.
Brett, how many wood bridges do we still have in Polk County?
I don't know the answer to that. There's quite a number still of wood structures and wood bridges. Some of them aren't officially bridges, they're just considered structures, but still wood. So. Another one, Northeast 108th Street Bridge. This one was replaced and completed last year, and it was a 75-year-old bridge and had weight restrictions and a poor rating. You can see the top photos are the original, and the bottom is the completed project. Also recent accomplishment is stage 3 of the Broadway project. That was from Northeast 14th Street to Northeast 29th Street. It's a The roadway is open, the trail is yet to be completed and the lighting to be completed, but moving along well. And then in our upcoming opportunities is the final stage of the roadway improvements. So upcoming opportunities and considerations in the near term, opportunities we have here is we have the traffic safety study on Northwest 44th Street that is to be coming soon, and we hope to implement some of those short-term recommendations as soon as we get that report out. We also have an ICAP project for signal improvements to update our signalized intersection system and improve the function of our intersections. And then also some additional bridge replacements. Here, one of them is east of Ankeny. That is the photo on the right. It's super narrow. It's on a road just southeast of Costco. It gets a lot more traffic. Ankeny is developing north and south of this split jurisdiction at the moment, but on our schedule to get replaced. And then 3 bridges in the northeast part of the county. One up on Indian Creek and one on the Skunk River and a drainage ditch next to the Skunk River. And so those are scheduled to replace, and those structures are over 100 years old, don't have a lot of traffic, but are in dire need of replacement.
Brett, on the intersection safety study on Northwest 44th Street, is that the at-grade crossing issue that we're trying to address with the
Yes.
bicycle trail?
Yep, so we're looking at
high trestle trail.
Yeah, we're looking at road intersections at 118th, 126th, 142nd, 158th, and then also the trestle-to-trestle trail crossing.
So when do we hope that recommendations will be forthcoming on that?
Very, very soon.
Okay.
We're a few weeks behind when we thought they were going to be released. We hope to have them out soon. We've been coordinating with conservation to go over those recommendations as well, and we had a meeting last week with them. So.
Okay. Do we anticipate that will require investment?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, the hope is on
Significant?
the hope is on the short-term stuff. There are some smaller items that we can do immediately, some signage, some different improvements. I think one of the recommendations is a 4-way stop at 118th. At each of the intersections, including the trestle-to-trestle trail, and then long-term improvements would be underpass, changing the grade of the road, all kinds of different options. So those will be laid out in the study.
Okay.
Other upcoming opportunities and considerations, as I talked about, the final roadway improvement stage of Broadway from 4 Mile Creek to 29th Street. It's currently in process. The road is closed in that segment, and contractor the past few weeks has gotten a lot done with the milder temperatures. Still working with some of the utilities to finish up utility relocation. That's been an ongoing challenge throughout that entire project. We also have the 22nd Street roadway extension. This was designed in-house. Our schedule is to bid it this spring, but with construction later this year and into 27, and that's from basically the interstate north to the city of Ankeny at just south of Corporate Woods. Water resources, they have 6 stream bank restoration projects, 16 wetland projects. They're also launching a new urban conservation program for roadside prairies and the improved residential stormwater management options. And then, as referenced earlier, they hired a water resources engineer that was state funded for 5 years, and that allows us to do a lot of the design work in-house instead of relying on consultants. Really excited about that opportunity. Sticking with water resources, for the long-term expansion of their wetland wave program and their batch and build biannual installations. They do those on an every other year cycle, and then growing that urban conservation program. And then a big one, future, is a farmer-focused manure management operation program. They're going to call it the SHIFT program. There'll be more to come on that. Major capitals anticipated in these upcoming future years, so 27, 28 would be Broadway Phase 2, which is the railroad overpass. That's where that number is up, and then drops back down for 28, 29, back up for 29 and 30 with Easton Boulevard, which is a joint project with Des Moines and Pleasant Hill, and we're getting ready to go out to RFP for that to see where that puts it, but those are current estimates. And then those long-term improvements from that 44th Street intersection safety study, the second phase of the 415, 141 interchange modifications, additional heavy-duty plow truck replacements. Our area sewer projects will be hopefully ongoing for a long time, as long as we can maintain funding. Bridge replacements ongoing, trying to get those to a standard where we're getting the ones that are in the poor and fair condition out of, replaced and off the list. And then ongoing, making traffic safety improvements a priority at some of our intersections. We've had a number of issues that have arisen, and so we're gonna be looking more closely at not just one-off intersections, but looking at it on a wider basis. And then our ongoing asphalt milling and overlay projects.
Any sense of that 415, 141 interchange, what the state-county split would be?
Yeah, right now it's a 75-25 split state to county, and we're in process right now. The DOT was, we were gonna pay for the consultant to design it, and through that process, the DOT decided to design it in-house, so we'll be having a revised agreement coming through at some point, but the money difference isn't gonna change, but we're looking at trying to do both phase 1 and phase 2 together, which is looking at the crossing. The original was a crossing of Beaver Creek, and we think we've found a way to not have to cross Beaver Creek and still connect 121st to 415 and the interchange, so.
Any idea if the design includes a bike ability across?
I don't know that that's been discussed yet. I don't think we're to that point, but I know that we brought it up in our conversation with the DOT about the need for bike connectivity, so.
I mean, Rich is in the audience, he knows that bike trails are a priority for me. Thanks.
Frank, County Administrator recommendations at this point?
Yeah, they came in at target. They complied with the 1% reduction. They do a great job there, and I would recommend approving their budget as presented.
Great. Any questions for Brett?
Thank you.
Thanks, Brett.
Thank you.
Appreciate your presentation. Good morning, Rich.
Good morning, Board of Supervisors and Administrator Marasco. I'm Rich Leopold, Director for Polk County Conservation. And hopefully this will go as smoothly as Brett's did. They did a great job.
Not a chance.
Let's start over again.
Yeah.
That was awesome. Okay, so looking at Polk County Conservation and what we got going on this year. Let's see, I use this to advance. Okay, so we've got numbers that are, of course, shifting all over the place. There's a lot of grant numbers that are built into this. We use our bond to leverage grants, and then mix in a FEMA disaster every once in a while, and a lot of things are going to go up and down. Generally, our revenue has been increasing over time because of some of the amenities that we've been building, and also just campgrounds, picnic shelters, and stuff like that. Cabins have been more of and doing better over time. I will address the 1% reduction a little bit later. It's better articulated. This next one here, so you see again some of the ups and downs that happen with our revenue estimate. That first bullet there, the anticipated project income fundraising campaign, has to do with Sleepy Hollow. And $2 million is a conservative estimate where I'll talk a little bit more later, but we've got well over $1 million in the bank right now. We have a 25-member fundraising team that's doing a great job. We believe that by the end of February, we'll be at 2.5 million. By the end of June, we'll be at 6.5 million. So as these things go, you plant seeds, you nurture them, you water them, and then they start to bloom. And so As that happens, we've also got our eyes on a couple of big projects, our big funding sources. So we've met with Destination Iowa a number of times. We believe that they're in for $3.5 million. When we get to that point, we also have the ORLAP. It's a federal program, Outdoor Recreation and Leisure Program. I might be making that up, but we've been negotiating with them. I've been working with Sean Beganowski and the federal delegation, and that might be a $3 to $5 million ask there too, depending on what happens on the federal level. Here you'll see that there is more explicit detail on where we took our 1%. So largely focused on construction and maintenance, operation, environmental education, and also motor vehicle usage, looking at efficiencies, plus as we shift toward more electrical vehicles, that's easier to accomplish. So that's where we saved that money. Going on, this is our decision package that we put together right here. So of course that first one, Sleepy Hollow operating loan, that's the one that is part of an enterprise account that you start a business, you lose money, you break even, you make money. So we're still in the losing money phase as we go through this fundraising. But as I said, it's going really well. We anticipate that by this fall, we will wrap up a lot of our fundraising. Simultaneously, we're doing design and engineering right now, working with some great firms here in town and a couple national firms to make this the most accessible, universally designed winter sports park in the United States.
We knew you were going to lose money, but have we lost more, or have we gained more than we originally anticipated?
It's a good question. It's a moving target. Overall, I am thinking that we have not spent as much as we thought we were going to. When I originally did these designs, and Deb might be able to chime in on this too, I thought we were going to go $8 or $9 million down by the time we were turning it around and making income. It appears we'll probably be about 5.5, 6 by the time we're done. This next year, we lose the money, but then we begin construction, and we hope to open by winter of 27. So Christmas of 27 is what we're aiming at. That year is going to be close, and then after that, it should be at least 1.1, 1.2 a year net profit. We think it's going to be even more than that. Working with Deb and a few others, we did our forecast on how many years it was going to take to pay it off. Conservatively, if we just meet the minimums of everything, it's going to be 2040. I actually think it's going to be somewhere around 2033 to 35, depending on how well we do out there. But we're working with SE Group, which is a national firm that does ski resorts, winter sports resorts all over the United States, and we're following their business plan. So I think we're on track in that we've actually done pretty well as far as curtailing expenses. One other thing I'm going to note here too is that when we shut down for construction, we have cut our operations budget by 2/3. So we will be operating with minimal staff and minimal activities. We still hope to keep this, the Snowflex Hill open. We still plan to have the Renaissance Fair and the Spooky Hollow, the October Halloween thing. Some of the other operations are going to be impacted, but it's not going to be zero. We're going to have income and activities even through the construction period.
Will you be able to do state fair parking and camping through the construction phase?
Yes and no. So what we talked with the, because we've had meetings, public meetings with the state fair campers. We guaranteed them this year. And so we're going to have everything regular this year. Going into next year in construction season, we're going to have to see. So we have not been signing up anybody new, and then we lose 5% a year through attrition. So we've been naturally wanting this pool to contract. Now, when we get down to what we're able to do the next year, not this year, but in 27, if we have to go down to 50 sites or something like that, we're also looking at other locations. Yellowbanks is pretty close by. We own some other properties, and if we can bring in trailers and generators, we may be able to accommodate those, but we may not. We're still kind of in the deciding phase of that. So,
is it because of staging, or why would you lose the, my concern is this: you have a very loyal base.
we do.
And so if they find something else, they might become very loyal someplace else.
And that I'm not so much worried about because the demand is huge. We have a waiting list that are waiting to get in. So if we have to contract and then expand again, I believe we could fill it. The main thing is utilities, right? So you have to have electrical service, you have to have the parking, the layout, you have to have sewer and water considerations. So as we transition, we're gonna have to break everything and then put it back together again. Can we continue with either generators or bringing in on-site water or servicing or whatever? So those are the logistical questions we have not yet answered, so,
Thank you.
yep. Okay, whoops, I wanted to just, I can't go backwards, only forwards. No, I can, there we go. Okay, and the other two that are on there are the accountant. We have in the audience Cammie Rankin, who's not retiring, she's the deputy director, and Natalie McFarland, our senior accountant, that is retiring. So we've actually been meeting with the auditor's office and Keith Olson and a few people, and we're looking at a side-by-side. We had already been intending to ask for a side-by-side for Natalie's position. The accounting within conservation is very complex because of all the grants and the bonds and everything else. They asked us to up that to a half a year, half FTE for the transition period of working not just with Natalie, but working with downtown. So that makes sure our systems are perfectly aligned with the treasurer's office and the auditors and everything else. So we're asking for that. And then AmeriCorps funding. So that was something last year we started an AmeriCorps program. We've been doing AmeriCorps forever, but we were approached by the state to say, you guys do so much. Why don't you become a host site yourself? And we will facilitate the conversation with the federal government, give you a whole bunch of money, a whole bunch of positions, this could happen. So we jumped, and we had 2 full-time positions, I think 22 part-time, or not part-time, but participants, if you will, sometimes 6 months, 9 months, 1 year, whatever it was, and then Doge. And for some reason, we caught the attention of a red pen, and it was gone. And so we scrambled and looked for ways to do it internally, and we've been able to patchwork a few things together, and we got back some of that federal money, but we have contracted. So we only have 1 full-time now that's servicing 17 or 18 program participants, but it has went from something that we were very hopeful with the federal government to something that we are largely subsidizing now. And so we're asking the county, we know we weren't supposed to ask for any increases, we tried not to, but this one was grant related. So the money that we're leveraging from the state and the feds is considerable to keep this program going.
Rich, you had made some improvements, I think, to some ranger houses for farms that you
Yep.
owned for sleeping quarters. Is that working out okay?
It is,
What is
yeah.
it?
We charge minimal rent, so I think it's $200 a month, something like that. And it actually acts as a recruiting mechanism for us, because if we're getting them from other parts of the country and they have to rent a $1,000 apartment in Des Moines,
Right.
that's very difficult.
Won't
So,
work, yeah.
yeah, so we have the Lay property, the former owners out there at Chautauqua, and we have the ability to have 8 or 9 people in there. We have the Spec property off 65, and we have 1 more in Johnston. And yes, that is working out really well as a recruitment tool. Then, if we don't fill it with that, we can also look for some of our seasonal or permanent part-time people that we are able to get in there temporarily. And then if that doesn't fill them up, Conservation Corps of Minnesota and Iowa is in the same position that we are. So we release any vacancies we have to them to make sure we fill them up.
So the cost, the expense side is of the $150,000 for the AmeriCorps program. How does that get offset in hours? Because you've done the analysis on labor.
Sure.
Like there's a huge cost savings, right?
There is, and it ends up, we did the math on that. I know I have it somewhere. It ends up costing us like $9 an hour for these people.
That's what I thought. It was something
And they
like
provide, yeah, thousands of hours. Here it is, I actually found it in time. Last year, it resulted in 16,030 hours of service. with a value to the county of $324,000.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it is a very wise investment.
Plus, it's a great experience for the youth that are in the AmeriCorps program, right? So,
It is. We're training future leaders
Yeah.
regionally across the country, yes. And they come to Des Moines, Iowa, and they're just blown away at the opportunities, the natural resources, the outdoor recreation, the equestrian center, environmental education, everything that we do. So, yeah, it's been a great program. When we had that cut, there were tears. That was very difficult, because we had some people that were committed and the money was in the bank, and yet we had to say, that's it, you're done. So we are very happy with the program that we've retained, and actually the state of Iowa has done a really good job facilitating our success. Here is a breakdown. You were asking for the full-time positions over the last 5 years there. You'll see that. Similar to what Public Works has. We had a large retirement, whether it was the silver tsunami, we had a lot of, senior people that had retired. Some of it was COVID related, some of it was just chance, but we have retracted and then expanded again. A lot of those positions that we've increased, so you'll see 6 over 5 years, were water quality or natural resource related. So now, just going into some recent accomplishments, and I'm just going to go around the horn here. Upper left, our 4-mile mountain bike park over north of Copper Creek Lake in Pleasant Hill is open. It's not quite done yet. All the trails are in, but we're still doing a parking lot. We had some delays due to the city of Des Moines and some conversations with sidewalks and what have you, but that is open this year. Top center is our AmeriCorps, some of our people out there working in a grassland. On upper right, we have the Polk County Conservation Board and some of the awards. You can't see them, they're little, but we've now won 2 national awards for Easter Lake, for the North Shore Recreation Area. One of them was from the National Association of Parks and Recreation, and the other one was NACPRO, the National Association of County something. I can't remember it, but we've won 2 national awards, and actually, after this budget presentation, going down to the Capitol, we have a board member and a staffer, the CEEE, so the Center for Energy and Environmental Education out of the University of Northern Iowa. They offer an award that has 6 different categories, and it largely has to do with sustainability. And we got gold in all 6, and so won the award with all 6 categories this year. So I'm really proud of the staff and the board that they're doing a great job getting recognized. Bottom left, you have Two Rivers Park. So Mid-American builds a $15 million park. They want Polk County Conservation to run it, and you as a Board of Supervisors and the City of Des Moines contribute, and then we run Two Rivers Park. Bottom middle is some new bond projects we've been doing. That particular one is a nature playscape out at Chautauqua Bottoms in the northeast part of the county. Families, kids love it out there. It's really been a nice change. And then you'll see on the bottom right, we have our new strategic plan for the next 3 to 5 years, which I'm excited to talk with each of you about as you go through your strategic planning exercise. So good timing on that. Upcoming things, the top right is a campsite. So we are doing new campgrounds at Thomas Mitchell, and actually Public Works showed you some of the stream work that they've done out there and the bridge work that has helped tremendously. And we have a new campground going in at Chautauqua Bottom Greenbelt also. More of a tent campground slash small RVs, not the big ones. The top middle, we've been working with Polk City for years. The mayor there has a running list of meetings. I think he's up to like 78 meetings in the last 5 years that he's went through. And we'll be constructing the Polk City Junction Trail from Polk City to the High Trestle Trail. So that's a project that'll happen. Upper right is Brenton Slough. So working closely with the Iowa Natural Heritage Foundation and many, many funders. We were thinking phase 1 was going to be 2025 to Phase 2, 2026, Phase 3, 2027. Our fundraising and grant writing has been going super well. We believe we will own all of it by March or April.
Wow.
So we're gonna have a groundbreaking probably in June on Brenton Slough. Bottom left, of course, is the Sleepy Hollow and looking at 2026 construction. The middle bottom has to do with technology. So we're using different types of technology for tracking and predicting and measurement of success and things like that. Last week, actually met with Jeff Wong, is that his name? From the city of Des Moines, a brilliant gentleman, and looking for interfacing how we can work with the city of Des Moines. I already work with Park and Rec, Ben Page, very closely, but with some of the city of Des Moines' IT capability and some of the surrounding suburbs and the county all working together. So like if we're tracking traffic patterns and how many people are going to Easter Lake and they're doing the same thing, why? We should be doing those things together. And how do we optimize all of our IT capabilities? And that might be regionalization of some of the different methodologies. And I'm okay with that. We'll all save money and get better information. So the bottom right, Great Outdoors Foundation, which of course we've done tons with over the years. We've now hired a person that is part of the Conservation Foundation of Polk County. So a dedicated staff member within GOF that all they do is work for Polk County Conservation. We've put together a document, I think it's 46 pages of funding opportunities. So we just hired a person who's coming on here in February and really looking forward to that potential to leverage even more grants and nonprofit donors and things like that, so.
Wow.
Rich, can I go back to the Brenton?
Sure.
If we are moving up our acquisitions, we're gonna own it March or April,
Yeah.
when do we start opening up parts of it to the public?
As soon as practical. So yes, so we're looking at probably a gravel parking area and inlet off Xavier Drive as soon as we can. We know that there's spring mushroom hunters and things. There's birders and people like that would want to get out there.
A great place for viewing the northern lights.
That's
I
true.
was out there
Probably
last
the
fall.
darkest place around. Yeah, no, good ups. Yeah, you're right. So we are going to do that just to facilitate, and then we're going to start putting a footprint down. So we've got that existing little old hunting shack out there. We're thinking about a trail from that parking area to that skip to it is upper right here, Brenton Slough. So working on the Esker Trail. So going from Grimes to Granger, possibly Jester Park, possibly City of Johnston, both Polk County and Dallas County Board of Supervisors I went and talked to. Everybody's in, MPO is in, and so MPO is actually now leading the planning effort, and we're pushing hard. We're the main driver for this conversation to start putting preliminary design down and deciding scope, because everybody's got their own things that they want to do, fine, but we're focusing on that trail system and how to regionalize that trail system, and then if they want to do a traffic study or development here and there, whatever. So that is moving forward very quickly. We're having monthly meetings now with the MPO on that. Upper left is the Hubble Trailhead, so this is the one that's across from Grays Lake there, the south of the old Dyko site, but not the old Dyko site. Where they're constructing right now, and we anticipate getting that next year, spring, summer of next year, probably. They'll be done with construction there. Bottom left is a picture of a house from 1888. It's on Highway 65. You drive by the property. It's got a silo that looks like it's tipping over. That house is going to be kind of a visitor center / nature center. It's not going to be like a huge nature center, but it'll be part of the gateway of Chautauqua Bottom Greenbelt, where people can stop. We're going to have educational displays, some naturalist displays. There's a ice house that's there from even predates this house. So there'll be some really cool things happening. Right now, it's full of AmeriCorps people. That's one of the places we have. And then bottom right, bonds. So we've been doing a lot of work with Deb and other staff about sustainability. So we had the 2012 bond, the 2022 bond. time is flying by. We're in 2026. We're already planning to 2029. So we're talking about what happens next. You know, if Polk County Water and Land Legacy continues in round 3, or if I Will ever passes at the state level, or both. So we're already doing planning, looking that far forward. I think that's the end of our presentation.
Frank?
Yeah, Rich did a great job on this budget. The only thing that I'm holding off on recommending is the accountant position. Deb had worked with Central Accounting, and they had expressed a willingness to meet with existing staff, document everything, and then train the new person. If there's overlap needed, I don't think it's 6 months, but we can continue to have those conversations. Otherwise, I approve it as presented.
Questions for Rich or his team? Rich, you have a lot going on.
We do, a lot of balls in the air.
I'm interested in knowing, obviously, as you continue to take on more and more acres of land and capacity, including a new park, and what's your ability to continue to do more with less as it relates to staffing, and where are you with the staffing as you look to the future, taking on Brenton Slough and all the development and trails and nature center? How do you deal with the staffing challenges?
Yep, and so far, yeah, it's been a real evolution. So I've been in this position now 13 years. So that first bond and spending that, and at that time, there was a requirement for staffing up, right? There was a planning that was needed. There was additional capacity within natural resource restorations with all these different things. And so we did that 10 years-ish ago, that we staffed up on some of those capacities. In the last 5 years, it's been more of a pay-to-play kind of thing. So when we took on the Lordson Skate Park, there was an agreement with the county to give us capacity to be able to hire and do operations and do that. When we did Two Rivers, now we have the enterprise account with Sleepy Hollow. So a lot of the more recent acquisitions or amenities have been more of a pay-to-play. We were given direction that you can do whatever you want, but money is not growing on trees, so you got to figure it out. So we did through different funding mechanisms. I believe that going forward, our acquisitions have actually slowed down considerably. We're not knocking on doors anymore asking. We've got Iowa Natural Heritage Foundation that's holding a few properties, and I believe that our current capacity is sufficient for everything that we have right now. Now, if we have additional opportunities that come to us with the same pay-to-play mentality, we will entertain those. But we're not looking for more work right now.
Very good. Anyone else? Well, thank you.
Thank
you,
you.
Rich. Appreciate your presentation.
Thank you to your board member that showed up today. too.
Yes, yes.
Oh, there we go. Chuck Soderberg is on the Conservation Board. Love having it.
Thank you for your service, Chuck. Appreciate you being here. Lola? Good morning.
Good morning. Can you hear me?
We can.
Okay. Lola Evans, Director of HR, and with me is Lexi Arndt, the Deputy Director. Okay. This is our summary of our budget. As you see, the revenue decreased by 100%, but that is due to risk management. Used to be part of HR, and they are no longer. They went under the board, and so we do not anticipate any revenue going forward, which is typical of the HR department. We are happy to report that we did come under, we met the 1% reduction goal, and there's just a couple of personal services and operations increases in there. Like every department, personal services is increasing, and it remains HR's biggest budget item. So that increased by 89,000. We did request an increase of outside counsel for 50,000, and a miscellaneous adjustment for additional expenses that have to do with union increase. And then the biggest decrease that we have was the appropriation of the employment administrator position. So that's why you see that we came in under 221,000 under current budget, and that is because Lexi agreed that when she took on the deputy director position, she would continue the employment administrator duties, and she's done a great job so far. I am asking for just one decision package, and that is to reclassify the executive assistant to an HR generalist, and I just think that would better align with duties and help out HR staff more than just my own role. So the rest of it is just historical expenditures. They're just truing them up for unemployment and the wellness program. This slide is the full-time positions. This only goes through 24-25, so it does include risk management in there. So it's 14 employees, and you'll see a retirement and a non-retirement. But right now, HR is staffed at 10 full-time employees after risk left. Recent accomplishments, we did complete 6 RFPs for the benefits this last calendar year, which helped the county save $300,000 annually for the next 3 years, which was a big ask. It also lowered premiums for our employees as well. We did reestablish monthly payroll meetings. This is just an opportunity for payroll personnel in the departments that they work with HR, the auditor's office, and then just every department, so they can collaborate and explain challenges and then share tips and tricks on how to make their job a little bit easier. Those are going pretty well. And then in 2025, HR implemented project groups to help identify some internal processes and procedures, and so that we could document those, so that if we have transition, we could the continuity would continue easily. Employee engagement opportunities, those are some of the, we want to identify areas that employees can foster connections within their own department and also within other departments, maybe by volunteering and participating in events that the board sponsors, the community events, as well as any we had a benefits fair, we've had some socials along the way that we offer, so that's what we're trying to do there. We're also trying to enhance the employee recognition program. That's going to be revamped so that it's more meaningful to our employees. That falls under that employee engagement. And then learning and development opportunities, that is for us to identify trainings that employees should be taking throughout the year. We're going to work with departments and offices to identify that. That probably will exclude the sheriff's office because they have their own
Trainer,
training.
yeah.
Yeah, they won't be in that. Upcoming opportunities, to piggyback on the training, we have just secured a learning module system just recently with IT, and so that'll be online training. So some of the, sexual harassment, workplace violence, we're going to identify those and have all the employees complete them by the end of 2026.
Okay.
The big one coming up is the labor negotiations. Our contract ends June 30th of 27. So we'll be working with the board to try and figure out, the ask on that and completing labor negotiations and preparing for it. implementing quarterly training for management. We are going to start that again. Just, we started it last year in '25, and then it kind of fell off the way because we've had some transition in HR. But we're going to start that again, and that was pretty popular, so just. And then long-term, we are going to develop metrics for tracking employee leave of absences and also turnover rates. And although we are showing some of that up here, I think it might be valuable to know, like, what's the reasons for the turnover and maybe years of service within that turnover as well. Maybe, you know, are they leaving within the first year, 1 to 5 years, et cetera. And then, like every department, we're just going to try and continue increasing efficiencies by leveraging technology to make our jobs a little bit easier. That is all I
Any,
have.
Frank, you want to provide recommendations?
Sure. So I want to give a lot of credit to Lola and Lexi. There's been a lot of turnover at leadership level in HR, which is very difficult, and the personnel matters just consume so much time and energy, and they've brought a great deal of trust and stability there, and have been a huge help to me. And we're starting to look at a lot of the policies, and there's going to be some in front of you at the next board meetings, policies that haven't been addressed in a while. And so we're getting things up to speed, best in practice. They're doing a great job. They came in at target. The $5,000 for the reclassification I recommend to approve. It's a very cost-effective solution. Rather than having an individual support, just the director will support the entire office. So it makes sense. And again, they've really dealt with a lot recently, and they've done a great job.
Well, and I appreciate the savings on the RFP process that you underwent for employee benefits and the cost savings associated with that as well. It's a big success. Anything else?
Great job, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks so much. Appreciate it, Lola. That concludes, I think that concludes our budget today, so thank you all.